I'm here to talk to you about all types of business stuff. So I need your focus to be on, okay? So I'm here and I'm bringing you information. You know, we've been talking about bookkeeping. We've been talking about credit worthiness and being ready. We've been talking about the business registration, which are all very important things because we build it up, okay? So it's very important to build up to this point, right? So let's just have some reflection on the actual 6 components, okay, of your actual business. So you have to make sure that it's by structure, by industry, by size, by ownership, okay? And you have to make, and by information and technology, by function, you have to make sure that you have those components inside of your business model of what you are thinking about your business to be, okay? So that's going to be very important. And the reason why is because as promised, today I'm going to talk about, you know, your business plan. So we've been talking about your credit worthiness, how to stay on point with your credit worthiness, how do people that's lending you money is going to fund you. That's going to be very important for you to keep track of your branding, for you to keep track of your marketing. All of that is connected to your business plan, because when you get down to your business plan, which is necessary, you are putting down all of these thoughts in a strategic way. So you know you have to have your 6 components. So that needs to be, of course, somewhere in your business plan. But we're going to talk about the key components of business planning. And I'm going to have my girl drop them up at the top because it's going to be important for you to know the specific things for your business, okay? Your business plan. So, an executive summary, all right? Overview of business mission and objectives. So, as you can see, why that's so important for you to understand the size and, you know, what you want it to be and what type of business you want it to be, because the first thing that you should be talking about is your business mission and your objectives, okay? Your business description, all we've been talking about. So industry details, services, and your products that you offer should be in there, okay? So your market analysis. I told you it was the hood way, but I said that you need to be researching these other businesses to see what they're doing so that you could see how you could be successful up against them. Okay? So that is a market analysis. All right? Now, remember I was like, oh yeah, AI, whatever. If you don't know what market analysis is or what that entails for you to be able to do, just go ahead, Google it, look it up. Because that is a part of your business plan. You need to see, like, is this business marketable in my zip code? What am I looking at? Is this a good field for me to be in? You need to make sure that you're doing all of that research, okay? That's called a market analysis. And you're going to actually write about that market analysis inside of your business plan, okay? Organizational structure. Remember I was talking to you about sizes, like how I wanted mine to be, but God wanted it to be big. And I had to adjust to what it is that I needed to do. So you have to make sure that you're paying attention to your organizational structure. What do you want your leadership to look like? What do you want your management to look like? What do you want your team roles to be? How many teams do you have? I'm big on, in Time for Change, we have 3 departments. We eradicate crime and homelessness by way of employment, by way of 3 departments: employment services, a psychotherapy department, and a trade school. I have been saying that same statement for, I don't even know how long, since 2020, since I cut the ribbon on the school. And then when I reinnovated it in my business summary and business plan, I had to say, and we added our 3rd department. We added our 3rd department. Now, was it in the business plan at first that I wanted a school? Yes. But you have to have 6 months reserved to have school. So guess what? My business plan had to build up so that I could be able to present that, hey, I can afford this school, this is what we could do, and that's how I added the school. But was it in the initial plans? Yes. It was in the initial plans that I wanted the school. Okay? So, everything that you're dreaming about, everything that you have in your head needs to go on the business plan. Just because it's not there yet does not mean that the business plan does not house it. Because when you're using the business plan for funding opportunities, they want you to dream. They want you to dream. They want to fund somebody who has dreams. Who has dreams and ambitions and who knows that they control this money that they're going to be rendered. So it's going to be so important for you to actually dream big. Right? What business consultant is going to tell you that? You got to dream big. You got to slim down. That's what they want to tell you. You got to dream big. You got to slim down. Those two things is what you're going to be doing the entire time you are an entrepreneur. You're going to big up. You're going to slim down. You're going to shave the sides. You're going to take the bread, the bread edges from around the bread. You're going to do whatever makes best for your company. Okay? All right, so how about products and services, right? This is when you get very detailed about your uniqueness. Your uniqueness in the services that you provide, in the product that you provide. Because it's not going to look like anybody else's. It's yours. A lot of people might see it from the outside and think that it's going to look like somebody else's, but this is yours. So it's not going to look like anybody else. And you need to own that. You need to own that. You need to say it out loud right now that your business is not going to be like anybody else's business. Time for Change is not like anybody else's business. I don't care if I have people come in here and I have them, talking about their business and talking about things that they have done. We had Mr. Raymond Bell in here. His business is Hope Project. Hope Project is not Time for Change. It doesn't look the same. And he does similar work. But it's not quite the same. And I like his work. And so people that are in the same market, right, a market analysis can thrive. It can work together because your business is different from their business. Don't go in this thinking like, oh, she trying to be competition with me, or he trying to be competition with me because he's doing this. You can do the same exact work, but you could brand it and market it different and look different doing it. And everybody's coming to you and your business is flourishing. Block out everybody on the outside. It has nothing to do with everybody on the outside. It's all about what you do. Just like I said, when I go into an event, I'm wearing red. Everybody else, please wear black. Because when you're the boss, you can say that. When you're the boss, you can brand that way. Making sure that you're paying attention to all of the products and the services that you provide. The one thing that I trademark is that Time for Change is ran by a clinician. We are all trauma informed here at my company. We are working clinicians to support with the one mission of everybody getting a job. We are helping trauma-informed individuals see what's holding them up to get that job. To see what's holding them up from just moving in life in general. I have a clinical component to my company. It's not a lot of employment agencies that have a clinical employment to their company. It says on this big wall, it says a clinical employment program with a trade school. Because I had the brand. Because I cut the ribbon to a trade school after my company was already in business for 4 years. But that doesn't take away from my business plan. The plan was already written in 2016. So making sure that you're writing this stuff out. Marketing and sales strategy. What are you going to do to get this in front of people? Strategically think about it. We talked about the marketing. We talked about social media. We talked about all the different components and everything that you need to have. We talked about how LinkedIn is professional, Facebook is this, and all of that stuff. We talked about all of that stuff. You got to write that in your business plan, your marketing strategy for how you're going to do that, because the funders want to see what are you going to do to push this out. You might know somebody who got a marketing company who going to push it out, who going to do all of this stuff. Write that in your business plan that we're going to use this to push out our business. Pay attention. Let me drink some water. All right. Financial projections and budgeting. Financial projections and budgeting. So we've already been talking about money. In your business plan, they need to understand, how do you see your business growing? So if you're providing this service or you're providing something to someone, how much are you going to charge? And are you going to continue to charge this, or will your sales eventually grow? And then you're going to charge something else. How much money are you working with? What do you plan to do with the money that they will give you if they gave it to you? Your business plan is the future goal. So if I had 50 grand, this is what a budget for 50 grand will look like. That's your business plan is selling yourself to get the funding. So guess what? That part called financial projections and budgeting is the most important part. You have to pitch. What would you do? This is a sample of what my budget will look like if I had this. Dream. The business plan is for you to dream. Funding requirements. Specific financial needs for growth and how funds will be used. That's what we just talked about. The financial projections and budgeting is revenue expectations, expenses, and funding needs. So it's about what you need, right? If I had this budget, this is what I would do. This is what I need to do this and this and this, 50,000, blah, blah, blah. But then when you get to the funding requirements, this is how it will be used. Okay? Y'all get these gems? Scratch your head. Yes, yeah. Because now your focus is on business. See, y'all been asking for it. Y'all been wanting this since the beginning. Y'all been like, man, she talking about spirituality. She talking about wealth. She talking about, you know what I'm saying, health and going to the gym. Yeah, because we got to be equipped. It is not, you got to be equipped to dream. You need to be able to meditate when you write your business plan. You need to be procuring yoga classes somewhere, because you need to know that your business plan it takes strategic writing. You can pay a consultant to do it. You can do that. But remember, you are not an equipped business owner or entrepreneur if you cannot do it by yourself. And if everybody else is going to be speaking for you or doing everything for you, you're never going to be invested into your company. It's just going to be a thing to do. Trying to tell you. Appendices and supporting documents. So, licensing, legal documents, and additional references. Remember we talked about in the shows before, making sure that you had those financial references. Who gave you money before? Who trusts you? Me, I used to do, every time I would write in my business plan, you know, I always had this clinical perspective. So I was like, I'm going to get the best MD, Chief Medical Officer for Department of Behavior Health. I'm going to get that. I'm going to put that in my plan. I got a 2-page recommendation letter from her, and whole time I put that joint with everything. I have all these fundings and getting approved for certain stuff, and I be like, oh, you know what? I go in the dealer. I've had a relationship with the dealer for over 5 years. They be like, she pay her car note on time. Every time to change. You gotta build up these references related to your work and related to your finances. And if it is hair stuff, if somebody went to you, if you're trying to do a nail school or hair school, and they say, you know what, hands down, that's the best hairstylist I ever went to. Take a picture of their work and get them to write you something. Makeup. Get them to write you something. Creating art. Get the person to say this is the best picture that I've ever had in my entire life. And I'm giving you all of these businesses that aren't like really like, you know, that's artsy and crafty. I'm giving you that because it's important for you to know that it doesn't have to be all big and grand for what you're doing. If your talent is smaller on a smaller scale, you could write a business plan to support that smaller scale. You can. I'm sure that a hairstylist, because I know now because the market is completely different, but I'm sure that a hairstylist could spend easy $600, $700 on product for one person's head. And then they gotta have different products with different hair color and this, that, this. Break it down. Break it down. Making sure that you got your licenses in order. You need to make sure that you have every single thing that you need from your business, your EIN, because like that letter that you get, that confirmation letter when you get that 501c, they ask you for that every single time you applying for something. Your tax exemption, every single time you buy something, they asking for that. Anything related to funding, they're going to ask you for that. So you have to be equipped. Different resources and funding require different things. Jim. Different funding resources require different things in the plan. You have to adjust. So this is a moving document. This is something that you're going to be moving on. Let me change it. Let me tweak it. Let me change it. Let me tweak it. Let me change it. Let me tweak it. AI is not going to be familiar with how many goddamn times you had to change your plan. AI is not going to know the history of your business. You are. So you got to start somewhere in building these business plans. And they're going to be relevant to when we start talking about government contracts and grants. They're going to be relevant and you need to put the work in now. Because I'm not going to keep repeating myself. At all. Okay? Structuring your business for growth has everything to do with the EIN, aligning the EIN with the DUNS, with the NAICS code, connected to your business activities. So you got to align all of that, okay? They're in every application, they're going to ask you for that first, and then they're going to ask you for the business plan. Well, guess what? If your business plan is talking about nails and you go up to your next code says hair, your DUNS number connected to a business that's called Big Booty Judy. You know what I'm saying? And then Google says, oh, it's in this dungeon at 55th Street on 2nd and 3rd. Like, make it make sense. All of that stuff got to flow, y'all. All of that stuff got to make sense. Okay? Just gonna say, make sense. When you are implementing this business plan, like I said, you're going to be moving it all around. You're going to be moving it all around. And through this process, you're going to be building up your credit for financial management because you got your business account and you got your other account and you sit here and you got your accountant because I'm telling you that you got your in and your out and your in between is your expenses of you spending your money for your business, and it's called your operating. So you have to have a moving plan at all times. It's going to be moving. It's a moving document at all times. It's not just one business plan. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go to this bank. I'm going to go to this bank. I'm going to just give them a business plan. Oh, I'm going to go to this bank. I'm going to give them the same one I just wrote. I'm going to get this one. I'm going to give them this one. No. It's a moving document based on the funding opportunities that you are looking at. Jim. Because people don't read. They just see business plan and they thinking like, oh, okay, I could just send it to them. No, their business plan is going to require different things. Don't even be ashamed to say, what do you require in your business plan, or what is something that you're looking for in your business plan? Make it bulletproof so that they can't deny you. Find out what they want. But these key components that I told you about that we listed, those are the ones that you need to make sure that you have regardless of anything and what anybody else is telling you. The clinician has spoke. So you need to understand that you need to have all of those things written down. Yeah, because I spoke. Making sure that you are staying in compliance the whole time too. You gotta make sure that you have updated government funding records. You gotta make sure if you are thinking about getting in the government, which I already talked to you about that and how to be a vendor. You have to make sure that you are lining all of your documents up and stay in compliance. Now, the government don't care if you put an application in on time. If you don't meet their deadline, they don't care. It's all about them. It's all about their deadline. So you have to make sure that you, if your things expired, that you on it. You better put a calendar invite on your calendar. Because I'm going to tell you, that the government going to send you the email, and when you got all of these people coming in your face, this, that, this, my email thing, I get so many emails now, my email deletes emails. So I got to be triple cautious of if something is expiring or if something's up for renewal. Because when business start rolling in, you got to be thinking about those things. You will if you listen to Droppin Gems, because I'm telling you, because once you let it expire, guess what? You blown. You got to start all over again. They will charge you a ridiculous late fee to renew it the same exact way how you had it. I'm just saying, why? Why not just be prepared? All right. You need to understand EIN, DUNS, NACS. All right? You got to understand that. They all have to match. They all got to be connected to your business, your mission, or whatever, your trade, whatever it is that you want. Write it down. Executive summary, business description, market analyst, organizational structure, products and services, marketing and sales, financial projections and budgeting, which is the revenue, expectations, expenses, and funding needs, funding requirements, your specific financial need for why you're applying for this funding, and how you expect to grow it with the funding, and appendices and supporting documents like your licenses and all of the things that the IRS, supporting letters, nonprofit, every time you do something with nonprofit, you need a supporting letter. Making sure that you have all of those things to be prepared, because when you get the funding applications, it's what they need. So your business plan is going to sway in between all of these people and make sure that you get the things that you need. I would like to think that you have received, 24 gems today. I would like to think that you have received a wealth of knowledge to get you prepared. You are entering into entrepreneurship at its best and at its finest. You need to understand that all of the things that we're layering on top of it, I would love, if you want to reach out to me, my time for change, consult@gmail.com. If you want to reach out to me, you can, so that I can support you. You are my client. You are my client. And I don't mind consulting you. Because if you're not doing your homework, when we get to the grants and we get to the contracts, you're not going to be prepared. So you should be putting that work in. I advise you, stop right here at this show, come back, and watch the rest of them that you won't miss if you ain't prepared in 2 weeks to take on the next information. I would like to thank you for your time and your interest. Thank you for joining Time for Change, Dropping Gems. I do look forward to greatness and giving you even more information. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Drop your comments on the show, y'all. Tell me what you're thinking after this, because it's going to be important for others to see what you're thinking. I will see you 2 weeks from now at 6 p.m. on Time for Change Tuesdays, Dropping Gems Tuesdays. Thank y'all. I'll talk to you soon.